What's happening, people? Welcome back to the channel, and today guys we're going to just be reflecting on Arsenal's pre-season, how it's shaping up, the big takeaways and the main reasons to be excited if you're an Arsenal fan moving into the new season 2022-2023. So as we know, people, the new EPL, English Premier League season is fast approaching, and Arsenal will be part of the curtain raiser match, the first match of the season, like last year. But this season we're playing on the Friday night against Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park, a venue in which Arsenal lost last season. So how are Arsenal shaping up moving into that first match? So there have been 5 pre-season games, people, and I've just made a note on how they've gone down. And the first of them was a 5-1 win against Ipswich. And the goal scorers, Eddie Nketiah got a hat-trick, Sambi Lokonga scored, and so did Flo Balogun. Then Arsenal went to Germany and they beat FC Nuremberg 5-3, despite being 2-0 down after the first half. This was Gabriel Jesus' debut, and he really showcased to the Gunners faithful exactly what we can expect from Gabriel Jesus moving forward. He scored within 90 seconds of his debut, added another, so he scored 2 goals. And then a Mohamed El-Neni worldie from outside the box, coupled with 2 own goals from Nuremberg, saw Arsenal win 5-3 in that one. Then a 2-0 win against Everton. So then Arsenal went to the United States and they beat Everton 2-0. Bukayo Saka on the score sheet, Gabriel Jesus again. Arsenal then beat Orlando City 3-1. Gabriel Martinelli on the score sheet, along with Eddie Nketiah and Reiss Nelson. And then most notably, guys, mark this one down. Yesterday, Arsenal recording a 4-0 hammering of Chelsea and winning, I believe, the Chicago Cup in the process. And Gabriel Jesus getting on the score sheet again, along with Martin Odegaard, Bukayo Saka and Sambi Lokonga again. So 5 wins, people. Absolutely sensational. And it just goes to show that things are actually working well. And for me, guys, the biggest positive from these games has been the harmony and the team spirit, the growth of the relationships that we are witnessing here. And I think a lot of that goes down to Mikel Arteta. Now, I've praised this guy in the past for how he is orchestrating a new team spirit, a new togetherness in the camp, new standards in terms of professionalism and how players relate to each other on and off the pitch. And you can really see the formation of some friendships. There's a real feel-good factor in the camp, and I think Arteta's role in that has been really important. And I've seen this, guys, in its, for me, most noticeable form through the arrival of Gabriel Jesus. Now, I mentioned in my previous video how I thought this was going to be a wonderful signing for Arsenal, both in terms of what Jesus brings on the pitch with his attacking intensity and his quality, but also with the leadership role he could play as a 25-year-old guy in terms of being a good role model for the other younger players at Arsenal. And I think I could see glimpses of this coming through. I think Jesus was relating really well to the younger players, the other Brazilian guys in the squad. So he did a video with Arsenal FC where he and the other 2 Gabriels, the defender Gabriel and also Gabriel Martinelli, just did a quirky little video with Arsenal FC, just answering a few quick-fire questions. But it gave the impression of a really close-knit group of guys who just get on, they enjoy each other's company. And I think that's so important off the field to cultivate that sense of almost family, that we're in this together. So that's something that I've really noted, guys. And I felt a similar thing when Zinchenko's signing was announced. I feel like he's just going on the images, guys, on the video. There were warm embraces with him and Arteta. There was a big handshake with everyone in the room. It just looked like he was being welcomed, and there was a sense of excitement that Zinchenko was joining the playing staff. Now, this is before he'd even kicked a ball, and I think these factors, they can easily go a little bit unnoticed, but I think this cultivation of these friendships is going to be a key factor as to why Arsenal need to be excited for this season. So on the pitch, we've produced in these pre-season games, and off the pitch, I'm seeing a real alignment. I'm seeing a real togetherness in the group. So that, guys, is one big takeaway. In terms of on the pitch activity, I think there's been a real sign of the attack coming together. So obviously Jesus scored, guys. We can tally that up again. He's scored 2, 3, 4 goals in this pre-season stint. And he was combining so well with Eddie Nketiah. I thought those two struck up a real understanding. We saw at the end of last season, Nketiah was starting to really flourish in that number 9 role for Arsenal, that striker position. And you feel like he has been really invigorated and inspired by the arrival of Jesus, a guy who has won 50 plus caps for Brazil, won 4 Premier League titles. You can see Eddie is really relishing that chance to play with Jesus, and there's a sense of real camaraderie there where you don't feel like they're competing for one spot. You feel like they're going to be part of a successful attack where they can play together. Eddie could come off the bench, they could start together, and it could really flourish well. And I was seeing good signs there, people, with Nketiah and Jesus playing together. Saka getting on the score sheet was an obvious positive. Martinelli looked lively. Martin Odegaard took his goal really well against Chelsea. Really low drilled shot on his left side into the bottom right hand corner. It was a really impressive finish. So the attack is looking strong. I think another positive from a playing point of view has been the defence, and in particular the arrival of William Saliba coming back on loan, ending his loan spell at Marseille, coming back to Arsenal. He has looked at home, and although I didn't see any of the matches in their completion, in their fullest state, the 90 minutes, from what I've picked up from the Arsenal fans that were out there in the United States, Saliba just looked the part. He looked composed, he looked fast, he looked strong, he looked quick in the tackle, he read the game well. Wonderful understanding developing with Gabriel. Ben White was also there on the right-hand side. So you feel like Arteta is really focusing and constantly refining the formula in terms of the best blend to play in the defence, and it might involve a little bit of interchangeability as the season starts. So some games it might be Gabriel and Saliba, other games it might be White and Saliba, it might be White and Gabriel, it might be all three in a three-man central defensive combination. So you feel Arteta, there are great options there for him, and this pre-season, these 5 games have really allowed him a chance to weigh up exactly which combinations he wants to see. And to that end, people, you got the feeling that Arteta was also finding out answers about who maybe won't be part of the plans moving forward. And in his interview after the Orlando City game, the 3-1, the match that preceded the Chelsea game, he mentioned the fact that the squad is a little bit too big at the moment. They've got 30 plus players, and obviously it's a 25-man squad that needs to be registered for the new season. And with that, Arsenal need to make some decisions in these final few weeks of the transfer window about who will not be part of the plans into the next season. And you feel as if Arteta has his ideas about that. And it'll be interesting to see who doesn't make the cut. But the squad is definitely taking shape, and there's been noises that Arteta wants to add maybe 2 or 3 more signings. Who will they be? I feel maybe a midfielder is a priority position. I don't think it's a pressing priority though, because I do feel that we've also seen some good performances from Sambi Lokonga, Albert Sambi Lokonga in these 3 games. And we've also seen, obviously, Xhaka is still part of the plans, Partey is still very much in the squad, and El Neni. So there are options, and now that they've signed Zinchenko, he can also slot into midfield. So it's not a super pressing priority, but I know it will also be important at some point to bring in another central midfielder. So there have been links with Milinkovic-Savic from Lazio, I believe, and also Tielemans from Leicester, and Paqueta, the Brazilian international from Lyon. Now, one of those 3 guys, they're obviously different players. Milinkovic-Savic may be a slightly deeper line midfielder who could bring the ball forward and take shots from outside the box. Paqueta may be more of a creative forward-thinking player. Tielemans, perhaps somewhere in the middle where he does like to operate box-to-box, but he's maybe more of an attacking-minded player than Milinkovic-Savic. So we're going to have to see, guys, where that next signing will come from. There have been links with Leroy Sané as well, the German international at Bayern Munich, on the left on the left side of the attack. Potentially could provide good competition for Martinelli. So let's see, people, how it all unwinds with regards to the transfer activity in the remaining weeks. But moving into the new season, guys, there's every reason for Arsenal to be optimistic here. Like, results are picking up, the team spirit's looking good, the identity, the style of play is very much evident, and Arsenal also have quite a favourable start to the season in terms of the difficulty of the fixture list. Now, I know Arsenal won't be complacent in any way, shape or form, but they do have some matches that you'd expect Arsenal to win. Obviously, the first game is very difficult away to Crystal Palace, but after that, there are some winnable games in there. I think there's a home match to Leicester, there's a match against two of the promoted sides, Fulham and also Bournemouth. There's a match against Aston Villa in there. So those are the first 5 fixtures. If Arsenal could pick up 15 points from those games, it will set them in good motion for the new season. So people, I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Obviously, pre-season is just about getting a familiarity, getting a rhythm going. However, I think there are some good signs from this pre-season. Let me know your thoughts, people. What has struck you most, and what do you think are the main takeaways from this pre-season, and how are you viewing the new season as it comes closer? Okay, guys. Love your input. Thanks so much for supporting the channels, and we'll be back for more videos very shortly. All right, guys. Peace.